And I'm sure you will find the next hour really scintillating and inspiring. Dame Evelyn.
Thank you, Evelyn.
Pleasure, thank you.
So I want to say a word. Well, first things first, the morning after the night before. I imagine a couple of people here had slightly sore heads when they got out of bed this morning. Imagine if every time you'd been out for a night like we had last night, the next morning you had that to start your day. What a wonderful thing. So I'm going to say a few words, and I'd like to start by talking about heroes and heroines. I've got two heroines in this room actually right now, personally. I've got the Baroness and I've got the Dame. And the Dame, if you go and do a bit of research on her, you'll find that she's a multi-talented person, Evelyn, and an entrepreneur, the jewellery, all of which makes wonderful noises, the filmmaker, the writer, invented a new profession, the solo classical percussionist. There weren't any before Evelyn Glennie. And in our world, in the trust, in the Youth Sport Trust, in our colleges, in our schools, we know about the power of great practitioners, of heroes and heroines. And the power is not just linear. So it's, Darren Campbell comes to your school, and it's not just a matter of that the kids can run faster afterwards or that they're better wingers, because he was quite a handy winger in his day as well. Darren's visit can contribute quite directly, in a way, to attainment in mathematics. Or when Tanny Gray-Thompson brings her qualities, those qualities which piled up the gold medals to a team or a project, it's not just a matter of helping that team to notch up victories, it's the inspiration and the motivation, it's the way in which, sometimes in a mysterious way, people, when she's left, just raise the bar a little for themselves and set higher standards and then go off and do something. And so it is, we're going to have more music today, we're going to have more percussion, and that will be wonderful. But my starting hypothesis is that this can be more than entertainment or even more than metaphor. And our hope today is that we can offer some coaching, if you like, into this group around one of the big challenges that you've got. And so in making that hypothesis, that Evelyn, that you can help this group, there are a couple of things I want to check out with you as a group. And so I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and because it would take quite a long time to get the microphone around, the form of response is actually going to involve you doing this. And don't worry, it's not a cheap way of trying to get some applause out of you early on. You can judge later on whether you want to do that. But let's set up a clapometer. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and if you really, really agree, if you believe that's true, I'm going to ask you to clap at a 10. If you really don't believe it's true, I'm going to ask you still to clap, but at a 1. So let's just practice that. Here's the 10. So imagine Seb Coe walks onto this stage and says, free tickets for all of you and all your friends for any events you want to go to, Olympic, Paralympic in 2012, as many as you like. That's a 10. Okay, lovely. Okay, so let's practice 1. I was only kidding. Yeah, perfect, that's 1. Okay, so here are some statements, right? Quality physical education and sport can make a difference in attainment across the whole curriculum. Okay. The quality of teaching and learning in physical and education has risen massively in the last 10 years. Okay. The England men will win the 2010 World Football Cup. Okay, so I reckon that's about a 6. So that's fairly optimistic. Okay, here are the last two.